Oh, doing pretty good. You ready to run some Colorado runs?
You know, I'm kind of sick of all that wind. I'm sick of going to Denver, man. You know what? Screw this. I quit, man.
Why? Who am I supposed to team with now? Well, I guess the cat can drive.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the East Texas Trucker channel. Good to see y'all again. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience with RTI so far. I've been here for 7 months now, and I am actually going to be leaving this company as of March 18th. So also stick around till the end of the video. I've got a little bit of a surprise announcement for you guys. So it is in fact that time again for another review video. I'm now 7 months in at RTI, running this team's account for Target out of Cedar Falls, Iowa. Gotten a lot of miles under my belt, a lot of settlements, lots of experience with doing store deliveries and the distribution center and running this I-80, I-76 lane. So there's lots to talk about. So if you guys don't remember, I joined RTI back in July of 2021. I came here because of an amazing opportunity to run on this Cedar Falls dedicated account. The pay was amazing. They're paying 96 cents per mile as teams, and I had a friend of mine that could team with me, and once I confirmed that he was ready to go, we were off to the race. So I always told my friend slash current teammate that I would only run teams with him if we found a team run that paid double what we made a solo driver. And turns out we found one, and it's this one, which still is crazy to me to this day that we actually came here, that they're paying this. But here we are, and I came here, you know, I sacrificed getting home every weekend because I wanted to make more money, because I would be able to save up money faster to potentially buy my own truck or build out my own truck someday. So that's kind of the goal I had while I was here, and you know, it's allowed me to achieve that. Alright, so since this is a review of my experience with RTI as of now, I want to give you guys a little bit of a background just on RTI, the company itself. They've got about 1,000 drivers, about 800 trucks. They have 3 terminals in the country. I'm pretty sure on that. There's one in Muskogee, Oklahoma. It's brand new. There's the headquarters in Kansas City, Kansas. And there is the terminal in Owensboro, Kentucky. And then the company is mainly a dedicated customer company. So most of the drivers are running on some kind of dedicated account all across the country. They do have OTR freight, but I think it's something like 80% of their drivers are running on dedicated accounts. So it's really good if you like dedicated accounts. There's lots of different runs. And so here's the listing of all the different accounts up here, if you're curious to see. Lots of different options, as you can see. Now, when I came on, there were a lot of new international LTs and Freightliner Cascadias coming in. I think something on the order of 300 or 400 trucks came in new. It might even be more than that. I could be wrong, but that's what we got. We got a new 22 International LT with the A26 engine, and I'll talk a little bit later about the specific truck experience that I had. 99% of the trucks here have APUs, so that's nice. You don't have to idle the truck, and they are decent. They're those Thermo King APUs. We really had no issues with ours. Heat's great, and we didn't really use the AC too much because we started more in the fall, and you know, we're running up north a little bit, so mostly we needed it for the heat out here, because you know, got down to like negative 15 sometimes up here in Iowa and up in the mountains. So now on to my experience with the company management, not the account management. I'm going to stick to that later, but RTI itself, like going through orientation, recruiting, all those people. Overall, really good experience. The only person / department I didn't have the greatest experience with was log support. The lady that was working there at the time was just really abrasive, and I didn't feel like gave me a lot of respect. I don't know, maybe because I had little experience, but I don't know, I don't think she even knew that. But that was really the only dark spot on my experience with RTI corporate. So now for the specific Cedar Falls Target account. Starting out, we only had 2 or 3 people working on the account management side. We had a dispatcher, an account manager, and then I think like a head account person. Technically, there was another fleet manager on our account listing, but I think she was on vacation or something and then quit after that, so I never really met her. So it was basically 2 people running the account for the first like 4 or 5 months. And they did a stellar job, the situations considered. Obviously, we did end up having some issues because we have 8 teams on this account, and then we had like 40 to 50 solo drivers. 2 people is not enough to run this account, especially because us teams, we run 24/7. So people are going to need overnight support sometimes. The solo drivers, they run really early in the morning, like 12, like midnight to 3 a.m. Their loads leave. So they're going to have issues at that time sometimes. So the initial months, the account management pulled some really crazy hours to help us get the account up and running. So I really appreciated what they did, even though we did end up having some communication issues because of that. So now, as far as the truck experience, again, we got a 22 International LT with the A26 engine. 33,000 miles when we got it. It's currently at like 145, so we've been running some good miles on it. We did have the AGR valve go out on it, surprisingly. Had to get that replaced. The engine air filter sensor. We have a recurring engine light code. I think it's like 16 OC2 or something. It's the same code we've been seeing. I think it's still the something to do with engine air filter sensor, or I don't know. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's not like a major one. But it has caused us issues. We had a coolant leak for a coolant hose. I think goes to the DEF system, and that line broke or something. It was leaking coolant onto the batteries right when we got the truck. I mean, first 2 weeks that happened. So that, and then the shop had a mess up on our air jar cartridge when we got that replaced about 2 weeks ago, and caused us to lose a bunch of air and have a breakdown. But overall, for running 120 odd thousand miles, nothing catastrophic. So that's notable. Also, back on the truck, for the tires, something that we had an issue with the entire time, I mean, I feel like I have this on every International, is uneven tire wear. The drives have that wavy wear where it's like kind of like a squiggly line, kind of like it up and down, up and down. It's like kind of choppiness. And then we also had uneven tire wear on our steers. Now, I don't know if it's the shocks, if it's alignment. You know, this truck's brand new, so I kind of felt like it wouldn't be as much of an issue, but it's already happening. So I guess something to think about if you're going to buy one of these trucks to own. This truck came with the 5th wheel release button, which was nice, airbag dump, and disc brakes. So all that was nice to have. Okay, now as for my experience with the team freight. Team loads left the DC in Cedar Falls, Iowa, anywhere between 3:30 and 5:30 in the afternoon. Pretty much no issues really there. Starting out, there was the loads would be late sometimes, like coming out of the DC, but that got quickly resolved, and so that was a really steady part of it. The loads always get out pretty much at the same time, so you can count on that. And then most of our loads would be between 1 and 5 stops. Again, Denver metro area, and here I'll show you guys a little map of all the different stores that we deliver to in the Denver metro area. So we deliver to these, and then we also deliver to 4 stores in the mountains. occasionally, which is a decent run. It's a 2,200 mile round trip run. And then there is actually a run up to Marquette, Michigan in the Upper Peninsula that we do sometimes. It's about 1,000 miles round trip, so it's a bit too long for a solo driver to do and get back in one day. So we do that occasionally. And so back to the store deliveries, anywhere between 1 and 5 stops. We get paid anywhere between $12.50 to $20 a stop. It seems to fluctuate based on how many stops we get. Most of the targets here in Denver have been pretty fine to deal with, to be honest. There's a few that are slow, a few that seem to have problems having consistency on their receiving. But honestly, for the most part, the most frustrating thing about delivering to Target stores here is some of them are really small docks, really tight areas that you have to back into. Some of these, there is no room to side. The area was just not designed for 53-foot trailers with a big sleeper truck. They were not designed with us in mind. So we kind of have to adapt a little bit. There's like 4 or 5 stores that you have to blindside on, and there isn't a lot of room. But you can do it, and once you've done them a few times, it's you can do it pretty easily. But starting out, it was a little bit frustrating to deal with. But overall, for the most part, not too bad on that side. Back on the trailers and deliveries, the loads were, so our trailer is refrigerated freight again. The only thing we have to do, we don't unload. We moved the bulkheads out of the way for the store employees to unload. So we're not, unloading pallets or anything like that. I try to help out a little bit if a box falls here and there, because in my opinion, me helping them helps them help me to get out of there sooner and get on to my next delivery. And then, okay, now on to home time. So originally on the account details that I saw, it was 4 weeks out, 1 week home. Now, it doesn't really work out exactly that way because there's only 8 teams out here. Not everyone can go home at the same time. So sometimes there's going to be too many teams going home at one time. So they have to stage it, I guess, stage home times. So a couple times we didn't get home exactly when we wanted to. I was able to get home for Thanksgiving, and I was a little bit late for Christmas, which was annoying. But, we went home for like 6 weeks total out of the time working here, which was pretty nice. There were times that freight slowed down, which was frustrating, especially for a team's account, where, you're doing 34-hour resets because there's no load available. It was pretty rare. There was really only, I'd say, three weeks where that happened. And then here lately, there's been a bit of a freight slowdown, but I'm leaving anyway, so I'm not super worried about it, to be honest. But that became a frustration point. I think that was the start of January, that we were having some issues with that. Or no, it wasn't January. It was back in 2021. I don't remember exactly, but it wasn't enough to be a huge deal. But it was a frustration point at one time. And then as far as getting maintenance done, we personally had some issues with the vendors for maintenance. They have 4 hotlines, one for the trailer, Target trailer, one for Target trailer tire issues, one for truck issues and truck tire issues, and then there's a hotline that you call if you're at the DC and any of the above go wrong. You use a certain thing. So it's kind of annoying to deal with that, which caused issues at times, but overall it wasn't too bad. At the DC, there was bobtail parking for the trucks, so whenever we get back, we can park the truck bobtail, and then we actually have our personal cars there, so we're able to go around town whenever we get back to the DC if we have time. Generally, we do between 10 and 12 hours, so that was nice. Now, a couple of quality of life things I want to go over that the company did for us that I don't really hear about happening all that often in other companies, and that I haven't seen in my experience as a driver. They reimbursed us for all the gas driving to and from the DC, which I feel like you should expect if you're driving 800 miles to get to the DC whenever you go home. But again, that was nice. And they also offered to cover for flights for us to travel to and from, but as many of you may know, flying for the past year has been really complicated and a headache. Lots of issues, lots of canceled flights, delays. So I didn't really want to bother that. Plus, I wanted to have my car up at the DC to drive around whenever we got done with the load. So there was that. And also, they reimbursed us for motels pretty much whenever we wanted to stay in one for $34, because it gets really cold up there, and you don't really want to stay in the truck when it's -10 for $34. And, you know, we're a team, so we're running hard. We're always in the truck, so they reimbursed us for motels. And then also, my teammate, one of his family members got ill about 3 months in, and drop of a hat, they paid for his flight out of Denver to fly home to Michigan to go see his ill family member who was on their deathbed. And he was gone for like a week and a half, and they covered all his expenses to get to go see them and then to come back. Now, obviously, that affected our pay. He wasn't working, but they gave him bereavement pay. So, honestly, they kind of go above and beyond on some things that I haven't seen other companies do as far as, like, covering the driver for things. So, that was really nice. All right. Last thing I want to go over with you guys specifically about this account is kind of my settlements. What was my pay like? What miles did we get? So I calculated up, at least as of the recording of this video. Now I'm going to have a couple more paychecks come in after this video. I think 2 more weeks of pay. But as of recording this video, we ran for 28 weeks. Well, 28 weeks since I came here. Now, we were down for about 6 weeks for home time, and then maybe a little bit more for down for maintenance and that sort of thing. But 6 weeks down. So, in 28 weeks that we've been working here running. So, I averaged out all of my pay, all of my miles. So, my gross pay over 7 months was $66,703 and 63 cents. And then my weekly average pay, if you do 28 weeks, was $2,382.77. Now, realistically, it'll be a little bit higher than that because I wasn't working every week. You know, I took time off, so it's probably more like 26, 27, give or take. But that was largely boosted by the $10,000 sign-on bonus that we got paid out. It's an extra 24 cents. So for the first 5 months I was working here, we were making $1.20 a mile as a company W-2, mind you. Total mileage, where is that? I thought I put that in here somewhere. I don't know. But it's basically, we ran 110,000 miles, 115,000 miles, something like that. So basically that, split in 2 would be my pay. So yeah. All right. So you guys have made it to the end of the video. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching till the end. And now for the exciting announcement. Yay! So, as I said earlier in the video, as I've kind of mentioned some other areas in the last few weeks, I am going to be leaving RTI March 18th. Why am I leaving RTI? Why would I leave 96 cents per mile? Well, I'm going to be going owner-operator. Running my own truck, running reefer for a 80-20 split carrier. And I'll get into the details of more of that later. But I'm I've got a truck set up to run, and it is a 2016 Mack Pinnacle. It's like 460,000 miles, and it is a 10-speed. And here I'll show you guys. This is a picture of the truck, and maybe I'll cycle through some pictures of the interior and stuff like that. But yeah, so I guess I'll talk about this a little bit. I did not think I would be doing this soon into my trucking career. I'm basically hitting my 2-year mark in a week. I honestly thought I wouldn't be doing this until at least 3 years in, and probably 4. I was originally intending on going local after working at RTI for a year and building out a truck slowly over about a year. But I got an amazing opportunity to go ahead and start as an owner-operator, and I feel like I've set myself up for success. I feel like I've done enough homework to get me started, and I at least prepared myself to take this opportunity if it came. And I thought about it for about 2 months and decided to go for it. So in about April, I'm going to actually start running my own truck. So really exciting. I'm really excited, also kind of nervous, but I really want to do a good job. I'm really looking forward to it. Definitely going to be doing videos a little more often now because I'll be solo. I am going solo, and then so on that, my teammate is staying here at RTI, and we got a friend of ours who's actually going to orientation right now as we speak, and is going to come and replace me. And he's a friend of both of ours, so mutual relationship. We talked this out, so he's going to take my spot, so teammate can stay running teams. So works out for everybody. Our friend gets another good opportunity to run here. Like, it's great money, like save up some money, you know. So I will be posting a video probably about a week after this one, doing a whole like truck overview in person in my new truck, going over everything and giving you guys some more details on what's going to be happening. But again, I'm really excited for this opportunity, and I look forward to seeing you guys later on, and stay tuned.